Anyway, it's awful cloudy. So it shouldn't be cloudy like that. Anyway, the reaction that we are doing is similar, but is iron metal reacts, and this here I would write down, with silver nitrate solution. And so then iron, of course, the symbol is Fe, and it's a solid. And the silver nitrate, I already did the formula last period, but silver has a 1+ charge. Nitrate is the sole exception to the 33443. It's in the green box up in the acceptance box, but it's in a 3 with a 1- charge. Crisscross those, and we end up with Ag1NO31. So Ag, parentheses, NO3, and it's a solution, and for solutions we abbreviate that with an AQ for aqueous, or aqueous, you'll sometimes hear. This reaction is a single replacement reaction, and I'll be honest, I don't know whether we're getting iron 2 or iron 3 out of it. It should be iron 3. Iron 3 would be FeNO3 with a 3 here, because iron 3 and silver, or nitrate with a 1 crisscross, we end up with iron 1, nitrate 3. And silver solid. The other option would for it to be iron 2, and if it's iron 2, it would be this instead.
Is that like an AQ?
Yes, AQ. Again, I apologize. It's a combination of my handwriting and the smartboard. Balancing it. There's 3 nitrates here, so we have to have a 3 here, which then gives us 3 there. On the other one, it turns out that it's a 2 here and a 2 here. I'm not sure exactly which one is taking place, to be honest. Anyway, if you take a look at last periods here, and again, I'll have the video posted on Classroom later today, you can see there's a copper wire here, and then you can see the silver metal that has come out of solution. And the solution started out like this one here, is a little bit clearer, but a clear to cloudy solution like that. And here it's turned obviously a blue color. That's because what's happening is as the silver undissolves, the copper is dissolving. The copper is going into solution, and copper solutions tend to be a bluish color. Iron solutions, depending on whether you have iron 2 or 3, and we could actually use the color that we get to figure out which one it is, tend to be a yellowish or orangish solution, though one of them is more vibrantly colored than the other. The downside is silver nitrate, when exposed to light, discolors, and so that's why it's as dark as it is. And to be honest, it's probably a combination of I'm getting low, it's getting low in the bottle, and so then there's probably some undissolved silver nitrate settled down at the bottom, or silver compounds dissolved at the bottom, or sitting at the bottom, excuse me, and so when I poured it out, some of those came with it. The rest of it is just the fact that it does darken when exposed to light, and it's been sitting out for just 2 periods, and it's probably enough that it has discolored too much, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, if you look closely here, and I know my phone's in the way a little bit, you'll be able to see it in better detail on the video later, but if you look, you can actually see that the paper clips are not as thin as they used to be, and that's because just like the copper metal with the silver earlier, they are getting a coating of silver on the wire. And so if you watch, it's not sticking to the wire very well here the way it does on the copper, and so I'm actually seeing it rain off quite a bit. But if you look closely here, as if you want to pop up now or when you get ready to leave, you can see bits where it is shiny, where you can see shiny silver crystals growing on the iron wire there. And I just used paper clips for the iron wire here. And I tested it right at the beginning of the period and last period solution to see if it would work, and it did. there, when I dipped it in, I just looked for the silver to go not shiny, which told me I was getting some kind of coating on the surface. And the paperclip went not shiny, and so then I knew I was getting a coating on the surface. But that's actually silver metal coming out of solution. It's part of what makes this solution as expensive as it is. It's about $50 for this bottle. And it's part of why, when it's done, I won't dump it. The silver isn't actually worth all that much. But it's expensive to waste it and to buy this again, and so what I can actually do is do a reaction and dissolve everything that's in there and then extract the copper, in this case extract the iron, and then I'll have silver nitrate solution again that I can reuse in the future. So that's that one. Next period, we're doing the other combination. So here I did copper and silver, here I did iron and silver. Next period we're doing iron and copper. There's one other combination at least that could be done, but I'm not doing that one right now today. But watch the videos when I get them posted if you want to. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Where do you have the idea of drugs?
Medicines, yes. Others, no. No. Sorry. So, I mean, it would work, and to be honest, I think I've seen one out there before, but we gotta keep it appropriate. So, no, unfortunately. I didn't do the project with you guys. I started it last year, but take something and organize it like a periodic table. And so I've gotten candy, I've gotten Disney characters, food groups, and just make a big periodic table organizing something. And I think you heard the question that she asked about legal narcotics, if they could do that. Glad they asked, rather than just doing it. But
why would you? Why? Oh, sorry.
I think they're hoping I'll be cool and let it slide. The other day with the senior song issue.
Yeah.
When they.
We're still fighting that issue.
Yes, I know. And I think they thought I would take their side. I'm sorry, I don't. As a school official, I 100% understand why the school won't, and I know that sometimes we vote on things and pretend that the school's a democracy, but it's not. It's a dictatorship, and we have certain rules, and unfortunately, we can't appear to approve something that is not appropriate. And I know it's just one line, and it's a throwaway line in the rest of the song, but I think they thought I would take their side when they started complaining to me about it. I was like, I'm sorry, I disagree. I disagree with you. I agree with the decision the school made, unfortunately. So, I mean, go for it, fight it. If you win, good for you. But I'm not going to. I don't agree with. I wasn't sympathetic, and I think they thought I would be. So, and I think that's probably what he was hoping, is that I'd be cool with it. I don't remember what grade it was now, but I freaked out one weekend because I had offhandedly made a joke that I normally don't make with the younger students, the 8th graders and such, but my high school physics teacher once, he was doing a demo and he was focused on setting up the demo, and we were kind of just shooting the breeze around him, and at some point he notices that they're talking about drugs, and he looks up and he says, "Don't do drugs. Give them to me." And we all just busted up laughing. It was hilarious. Well, same thing, except I just offhandedly, without thinking about it, said that to 8th graders. And they thought I was serious. I was like, no, I'm being sarcastic. I said, I've never done drugs. I've never gotten high on purpose. Well, then immediately they said, what do you mean on purpose? So I had to explain. There was one time I painted in an enclosed room with a really noxious paint, and did not have the room well ventilated and ended up very loopy from it. And then there's another time at band camp, ironically, where there was a group of kids near me that were making a poster, but were also spending their time getting high off the Sharpies. And I think I ended up with a headache that day, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But anyway, don't do drugs. Anyway, have a good weekend. Be sure you study for Monday's test. And then, got one more round of this to go.
Can I go to the restroom?
Yes.
Can I use the restroom?
Yes, go for it.
That's funny. I know.
Nope.
Let you go.
So let's see, we're going to do...
I love picking on that little Drew shirt. Every time I see him, I say, hi, Drew. Like when he's like by his friends. I'm like, hi, Drew. He's like, hi. Makes me feel awkward. I did it to my cousin Drew Lloyd too. Every time I see him in the hallway, I grab his cheek.
May I go to the restroom?
I saw this in 99 year before I saw Snapchat. I never texted him, but changed it. I'm so excited. It was me and Maria yesterday. It's me and Maria today. It's me and Rachel tomorrow. And 3 days. It's me and
like a
Georgia.
new step up in your relationship.
I know. It's like, wow, we're in 100. Almost all my weeks are in 100 now.
Mr. Sully, we got a serious question for you.
All right.
What's better eye vision? 2020 or 20 whatever you say? 2010.
Jack, it's 2010.
It's 2010.
But how does that
Just
work?
take a
Because
bigger
when
look
I
eye
do
sharper
everything
than
the
the
other,
other.
2010 is better.
No,
No,
that doesn't mean
20.
that. It means you see 20.
The 2020 refers to being able to see 20, I think it's 20-point font, but one particular style, one particular, but being able to see 20-point font at a distance of 20, I think it's feet. It might be something else. But it gets awkward when you want to talk about what's better or not.
So it's like an opinion question? Your opinion.
Because a lot of times what happens is if you have a higher vision rating, what it means is you are
Back to normal.
here we go.
I don't have either.
Just like, I can't see. Period.
Do you have glasses?
At 6 meters or 20 feet, the human eye is performable or is able to separate contours that are 1.75 millimeters apart. Yes, that's what it actually is. And so then, roughly, it's how fine of a thing can you see. In 2010, you can see finer things at a distance. But that normally means you're farsighted, and it means that you might have trouble focusing on the corner of your eye. And so being able to see small things that are far away, you have a greater visual acuity at a distance, but a lot of times because of that, then what ends up happening is you are what we call farsighted, so then reading a book up close is difficult. And so we're adjusting your vision the other way. That is my understanding. 2020 is your normal vision, and then 20 higher numbers, which is where I fall, you are nearsighted. You can see things up close, fine, things far away. You have a hard time seeing. Nearsightedness is much more common than farsightedness. In the human population, you have that. Mrs. Langston or something with their biology, and there's a reason why. But that is my understanding of it. As a side note, the standard Snellen chart here has your ranges, and this here is your 20/20. But that's when this chart is the proper size, and this chart has an actual size. And right now, I can take the image and I assume this is the proper size when it's full screen here, but you know, we can also mess with the zoom level and then totally screw up the chart. So then the chart, this right now, this is not an accurate eye test for you. That's what I'm saying, because there is an actual correct size. When you print this, then the size of the chart is a certain way. Anyway, being able to see certain things. My dad, at one point, had to give regular vision tests to other people, and because of that, he has a standard Snellen chart memorized accidentally. And so he can do it from memory, which then totally defeats the Snellen chart. The Snellen chart is a classic one. There are plenty of others, and it's why you have, at doctor's offices, one common one is the C, or if you use a thing that looks like a, I don't know, a cross between a number 3 and the letter E, and then you, instead of actually reading a letter, you're trying to read what orientation it's in, and so you have it look like an M, an E, W, and a 3. And there's all sorts of other eye charts out there. And if you want to learn about all of them, I guarantee you, if you come down to the bottom of, probably not this one, if you go to the article on the Snellen chart itself, I bet you there's a whole list of, there's not, here we go, other charts. So the E chart, and so the E chart's the one I'm talking about there, the thing that looks like it's another chart. For little kids who don't know their letters yet, the E chart works well because you can have a point which way the thing will point. And it's why also for little kids a lot of times we have, houses and other shapes, but those shapes are designed specifically to be a particular font so that you basically have certain size gaps in the letters. It also brings up the interesting point that even though you recognize this as an E, that's not really the way we normally see an E. Even an E with serifs doesn't normally look like this. And it's your mind has a great ability to decode things, and the number of things that you can recognize as a letter E is quite startling, because there's so many different ways it can be written, and your brain picks up on it pretty quick. Because we don't have physics, I might as well share this off-topic story. Actually, I need to make sure that I think we've gone too long here. I've talked too long and now I failed to stop. Oh, goodness, yes. Let's stop that.